There was an interesting tweet from Mitchell Schwartz, former All-Pro offensive lineman who played for the Chiefs and before that the Browns.
Right.
Because Kevin Stefanski was asked yesterday, again, will you stick with Deshaun Watson? The answer, one word, yes. Said Schwartz on Twitter X, I still call it Twitter, and I'm just going to
Mama named her Twitter, I'm
just
calling
gonna
her
forget
Twitter.
that the guy who owns the current hellscape wants it to be called X. All the more reason to call it Twitter. It's incredibly shitty to do this to the rest of the team. Sorry, London. Joel Bitonio is out there every week playing through who knows what and has to wreck his body when they have no chance of being good because of the quarterback. Myles Garrett is playing in pain every week. I feel for everyone else there. There is a certain point where it's just, what are we doing and why are we doing it? And it's not the coach's call. It's all the way up to ownership. Just like with the Jets, the ownership starts at the dysfunction starts at the top, and this contract is a result of an ownership decision. They're sticking with him because of ownership, and they're just stuck.
They're stuck.
And I admire the Browns players for going out there and busting their asses every week when they're playing with one hand tied behind their back.
Seriously. I mean, especially the defense, the way they still fly around, physical. Right. I mean, yeah, they let up a few plays, but again, I think they also look at it like, hey, if we don't make the plays, we got no chance to win the game, so we got to take some chances there. And I feel like Jim Schwartz probably feels that pressure as well. But yes, it's another game. I don't know what to say. It's horrible. It's ugly to watch, and it's an offense that, with Kevin Stefanski, it's a good offense, but it's dependent on the run game, and it's never been able to be totally dependent on just pass game and the quarterback that way, right? So I've never looked at it quite that way, but with their offensive line being banged up and no Nick Chubb, they can't do that, and now it puts more of a spotlight on the passing game and Deshaun Watson, and it's just... yeah, it's bad decisions. It's holding the ball. It's underwhelming throws. I mean, again, like you'll see, and maybe cut to the wide shot here. Like I look at things like this. Most quarterbacks sit here and throw the ball, and they're upright, and their arm comes through. And this, you heard me in the viewing room yesterday. I was telling he has throws in the game where he looks like he is throwing off a mound. He throws the ball and ends up in a bent-over, followed-through position like he just threw a fastball off a mound in the ninth inning of a Yankees game. And that's just, there's things there that it doesn't look right psyche, it doesn't look right physically. There's nothing to be positive that's positive about the Cleveland offense right now.
You were making the point last week that it just feels like he's lost his confidence, whether it's off-field issues, on-field issues, injuries, whatever.
One of the Washington D linemen said it too, didn't he, last week after the game?
And we haven't seen Deshaun Watson play at a high level consistently since 2020, when he was the lone bright spot for a horrible Texans team that fired Bill O'Brien 4 weeks in. And then remember there was the rift because Deshaun Watson wanted input in who the next coach was going to be, who the next GM was going to be. He felt like he didn't get it. Next thing you know, he wants out. Next thing you know, we find out about all these lawsuits and didn't play in 21, 6 games in 22, 6 games in 23, and 6 games into 24. It feels like it needs to end, but the Browns unwilling, unable, unequipped to get their way out of this mess.
I'm extremely intrigued how they get themselves.
You got to pay him.
Mess.
You don't have to play him.
Yeah,
you got to pay him.
Right.
That doesn't mean guaranteed playing time.
Well, I mean, here's the other thing that frustrates me: doing nothing to help the football team. The team is being held hostage because of their horrible decision to pay him and trade for him and do all that. So they are still trying to make it work. But then the other aspect of, I don't want to run the ball. That's not why they brought me here. You got to do something to help your football team, okay? And then the fact that he's not in there during quarterback sneaks. I mean, that was another part of the game yesterday. They were in field goal range. They bring in Jameis Winston on a 3rd and 1 because I guess Deshaun Watson can't run a quarterback sneak either now. For $45 million.
They've been doing that all year, though,
I
too.
I know. But still, it's week 6 now.
It's not like you're bringing in Refrigerator Perry.
Exactly right. It's week 6. Okay, stop. Like, he's okay. His shoulder's okay now. We've gotten past that point. They run some stupid play trying to fake the quarterback sneak. They lose yards on it, and then they miss the field goal right after that, too. So it's just one thing after another, but it all stems back to that horrible decision of him being the quarterback right now, and, yeah, that's an issue.
3 first-round picks, 3 more picks, and a 5-year, $230 million fully guaranteed contract that they cannot get out of. And we need to take a break, but I saw some chatter emerged last week he'd welcome a trade. Well, nobody's trading for him. He would have to give up so much of his salary to facilitate a trade. And nobody would even want him.
Nobody.
Who wants him at this point?
No, he's bad for PR. You're going to question his psyche.
Yeah, you
like
only put up with the PR hit if you bring in a superstar.
Exactly right. Hey, guys, we're bringing in one of the worst starting quarterbacks in football that doesn't really look like he believes in himself right now and doesn't look like he actually really wants to play football anymore, and we traded a bunch of picks for him. Yeah, okay, yeah, get excited, fan base. You're like, yeah, right. And he's got a horrible off-the-field history to go along with it. Let's talk about that for the next week as we, get ready to watch him play below-average quarterback football.
At some point, they just need to, and it's been suggested, just bench him. You still have him. If you got to pay him anyway, just keep him around. At some point, they're just going to need that. If they don't bench him, they're going to need to just cut him. It's going to be the only thing they can do to avoid a fan revolt and a locker room revolt. Maybe. At some point, they're going to be there. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.